Happy Wednesday morning and welcome into this Lion Vision update. We're going to talk some UNA soccer and UNA volleyball with you this morning. Up first, head coach Chris Walker of UNA soccer. The Lions coming off of a 1-0 shutout win against Tennessee Tech to improve to 4-2-2 on the season. Conference play awaits this weekend at home. Central Arkansas coming to town. Nothing but Atlantic Sun play for the next 2 months, I guess, Coach. Hard to believe we're already at this point, but how did it feel to wrap up non-conference with the road dub against Tennessee Tech up in Cookeville?
No, it was nice. I mean, selfishly, it was nice to go back there. That's where I started coaching women's college soccer. So I finished playing at Lee, was on the men's side, and then went to Tennessee Tech and coached there with their women's program. So it was nice to go back there. But a great team performance. It was good, obviously, to finish off non-conference with a win and see a different lineup. We put a few out there. Had a couple of little bumps and bruises, but everyone's good. But it was a great team performance. I thought we came away with a victory we deserved.
Great team performance, and the tone was set by your captains. Alice Bussey, a goal in the 84th minute. Her 21st career goal moves into a tie for 11th place in program history with the most goals. She just passed Holly Loud. So sorry, Holly, you just got knocked down a notch. 4th in ASUN goals this year with 4 overall, but waning minutes of that one, walk us through the goal.
Yeah, well, no, it was nice. Obviously, I think Lexi had done a great job of getting down the line a few times, and it was one of those games we thought we left a couple of goals out there as well. So I thought we had a couple of other chances we could have done, but Lexi did a great job getting down there. They somewhat cleared the first chance. Alice got the second bite at it and finished it off from the top of the 18 with her right foot into the corner, and it was a great finish. And then obviously the girls enjoyed that one and celebrated, but then finished it off, defended with the last 5 minutes, and came away with a win.
4 wins this year. Alice Bussey has a goal in all 4, and just how pivotal has it been with the senior captain setting the tone?
Yeah, it's great to have her back. Just her attitude, her leadership, her arrogance up there up front. She wants to get the ball, she wants to score a goal, but she's not opposed to linking up and helping others as well. So I think just having that back in there, she's been there, she's done that. She was joking about the schedule being very similar to what her freshman year was as well, or her second year. So it's nice to see that. She knows what we're doing and she knows what we expect, and she's dragging a few others, the younger ones, along with her as well. So ready for conference play to get going.
2 things to jump into from the defensive end. Let's start with Madison Vukas. She recorded her 5th shutout of the year. She's 5th in the nation now in shutouts. She leads the Atlantic Sun in 3 different categories. But again, how strong was her play on Sunday?
No, she was fantastic. I think it was a little bit quieter in terms of the amount of saves she had to make. It was more collecting crosses and then just organising and distributing from the back. And she was clean on all that stuff. Her leadership back there, her experience has been great. And along with the back 4 in front of them, have done a great job. And then obviously the defensive midfield that we set up, the way we want to play, I think really contributes to our team as a whole defending. So, but Maddie's been fantastic in goal, and hopefully she can keep it going.
Lily Ford was built Ford tough on Sunday. Chase Glover, the nice caption on social media, had to steal that from him. ASUN Defender of the Week. She's the 3rd different line to take home a conference honor this season. First time since 2022, UNA has won 2 ASUN Defender Awards in one season. That's when Izzy Gurney Harper did it. Hard to believe it's been that long since she was playing for you. But tell us about Lily Ford, newcomer. What kind of strengths has she brought?
No, it's been fantastic. Obviously, Izzy was a great defensive role, but she also scored a bunch of goals as well. So it was easier to give it her when defenders get it for truly defending. So Lily didn't get any assists. She didn't get any goals, which is great. She got it for her true ability of defending. But any of the back 4 played fantastic, and we could have picked any one of them in that game as well. So, but Lily stood out. She fended off a little bit of an injury that was lingering around and dealt with it. Got through it and defended and played really well. The partnership her and Addie have been building together has been great, and obviously hopefully we can keep building on that and keep shutouts as much as possible.
It's almost a totally retooled back line, right? I know you've got a couple players that have been around. Some have moved positions. Totally new goalkeeper, but how far have they come since the beginning of the year?
Well, that's what we needed. We needed a bunch of games, and that's how we try and replicate the ASUN's schedule as much as we can in the non-conference schedule just to get ready. So we always knew adding 17 players was going to take time, and I think it did. But it's been nice to see. So defensively, we wanted to work on that and be defensively strong, and now obviously we've got things going at the other end of the pitch as well. So hopefully we can, not get too many goals in them, but keep scoring them.
ASUN play begins on Sunday with Central Arkansas coming to Florence. We'll be over at the Cox Creek Turf Field Sunday, 1 o'clock. We hope you'll come out for this one. And Central Arkansas is our travel partner, just one game out of the gate. Neither team's playing Thursday. You guys had the cancellation. Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But just one game in the last 2 weeks. How fresh should everybody's legs be?
It's been nice. Obviously, we were supposed to play this Thursday, which was frustrating. I feel bad for the girls over there at Mississippi Valley, but it was frustrating for us not to get that game as well. But in terms of this week can replicate last week, so we've kept the same schedule. We'll get after it. It worked well for us last week, and then hopefully, obviously, we'll be prepared for Central Ark. But it is some play. Anyone can beat anyone on any given day. Our side is, I think, super strong this year as well, and I think it is. Anyone can beat anybody, so that's what makes it exciting. The goal is to get in that top 4, and then can you get top 2, and just keep moving along from there.
And, of course, as we've seen, just get in the tournament, and you never know what will happen.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what the league feels like this year?
I think it is every year, yeah. It's just, can you get in there, and then it is. Anyone can beat anyone on any given day, so you just got to be who's the healthiest, who's playing the best, and who takes the chances that come along. So I think we'll be a tough team to beat, a tough team to break down, and hopefully we can, score some goals and make it a fun game to watch.
Winners of 4 of the last 5, outscoring opponents 9-2 during this stretch. Do you feel like this team's really hitting stride at conference play?
Yeah, I think we've got things moving in the right direction. I think conference play comes at a good time for us now. We're healthy, ready to go, so we're excited to get into that where the games really mean something. It really matters. You've got to grind out results and find a way to get the wins, whether it's at home or on the road. So we're excited and ready to go.
Nothing but conference play from here on out. Sunday, 1 o'clock. We hope you'll join us out at the turf fields on Cox Creek. Coach Walker, thanks for the time and best of luck.
Appreciate it.
We'll take a timeout. Coming up next, we'll chat with volleyball coach Tristan Johnson. Back with you on this Wednesday morning with North Alabama head volleyball coach Tristan Johnson. His team went 2-1 in their home debut, starting with a midweek win against Samford, a clean sweep on Tuesday night. Then they opened up the Nuna Kennard volleyball tournament with a 3-0 win over Western Carolina on Friday before falling to Alabama in front of a record-setting crowd. 3-1 on Sunday. And Coach Johnson, first and foremost, I know it had to feel good to be home all week, but felt like your team had a strong showing. What did you take away from the week as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, we met yesterday for the first time since the match on Sunday, and the first thing that I talked to the girls about was I'm really excited about where we're at. I mean, I really like where we're at collectively as a group. We're growing. I still feel like we're continuing this arc of improvement, which is what we want to be. I mean, we want to be, as we move through the season, we want to be continuing to improve, right? We don't want to peak before we get to conference play or even in conference play, right? We want to continue to improve as the season progresses. And so really like where we're at, was obviously very pleased. The Samford win, first time we've beaten Samford in volleyball since 1997. So it was obviously that's a huge recruiting win for us. That's a great program win for us. And then Western Carolina, obviously getting that win, a good program, beating them at home was a lot of fun. And then, to your point, the Alabama match, I mean, what an incredible event that was. Obviously didn't come away with the win, which was unfortunate. We're 1-1 with them now. We beat them at their place. They beat us at our place. So, but it was an incredible day for this program, for the department, for volleyball in the Shoals community. So just walking away from it extremely grateful for the opportunity and for the support.
And let's jump deeper into Sunday. First and foremost, first thing to touch on, 2,106 fans. When I walked in about an hour before the match, after we'd set everything up, came back in, I'd just been talking with you, it felt like the basketball postseason tournament games from last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what about that reception from the crowd? How did your girls love it? And do you feel like it fueled them early on?
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you look at the first set, I mean, we were up 17 or 18-10 at one point, and it was just, I definitely think the girls, and I told them before we came out, I said, hey, I really, at some point, I want you guys to just take a second to look around and soak in this moment, because, this may never happen again. It may happen again. Who knows? But enjoy the moment and enjoy the atmosphere, because to have that kind of atmosphere at a volleyball match is really pretty rare. And so to really enjoy it and soak it in was something I wanted them to really be able to do for a minute. And so definitely felt that it was huge. One of the things, Ben, that you had talked about after it was over that I, think was an even more telling was that, I mean, it was probably 80-20 UNA to Tide fans. And I thought that was a huge testament to the Shoals community for coming out and wearing purple. I know at times that can be a little bit of a tough thing to do, but, I think for them to come out and support UNA and for it to be overwhelmingly UNA was awesome.
And then Nuna Kennard, rebranded the Nuna Kennard tournament. She was here on Sunday, 97 years old. She looked like she could have gotten out there, maybe fielded a couple of balls for you. They had some reserved seats for her in the lower bowl, and she said, no, I want to sit courtside. She got a standing ovation when she was introduced. She had a smile on her face the entire time. I saw a bunch of young girls taking photos with her. A Title IX pioneer. She did more for female sports in the 70s than probably just about anybody in the state of Alabama. What about her impact on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I said this after the match. That may be one of the highlights of my entire coaching career was that moment. I mean, just to see someone that has, dedicated their life to the growth of other people and opportunities for other people. I mean, what a giver, right? And so, I hope and pray that all of my players and all of us in general live a life filled with passion for other people, and you get to see it come to fruition the way that Nuna did. And so, just was really, I mean, what a special moment for her, for our team, for the program, for all of the people that were in attendance. I mean, it was just a really, really special moment. And so really happy for Coach Kennard. She deserves all the praise and all the glory. She told me some stories when I had the chance to tell her that we were going to do this. She was telling me about back in the 50s how, when she brought volleyball to the state of Alabama, the state board wouldn't allow them to play because it was bad for young women's health to be physically active. So that was what the rationale was it was unhealthy for them to play sports. So you go from that to, fast forward 60 years, 70 years, and she's sitting here in front of 2,100 people watching young women play sports. And so, I think her quote after the match was, "This is what I always dreamed of for women's sports." And so for us to help her fulfill that dream was just really special. And so, again, I can't say enough about her. We would not be here if it weren't for her. And so, I just think that you can't put a dollar amount or a value on someone sacrificing their life and their passion for the greatness of others and the opportunity of others. There's just not that many people that have done that left. And so just really appreciative of her, the people that brought her to the match, the people that took the time to go bring her, and that's an undertaking for her at 97, and for them to have the want to do that, I think was huge as well.
Chills hearing you say all of that. And then an alumni Sunday as well, and we had Nuna who coached here, Dominic Brer who coached here. We had players from the 75 championship team, and then you had just about every era of UNA volleyball represented from the early 2000s on to even some of your former players as well, and just that support. What volumes does that speak to the program?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge. I mean, I think you're right. We went from players that played in the 1970s to players that played that graduated last year. So I think you really span such a generational gap there. And I think it all goes back to, we had a lunch before, and I talked in front of the alums and the team, and I told them, hey, I think it's so valuable to have this, because whether you played in 1975 or you play in 2025, the game is what connects us all. And, the thing that I always want my teams to take away from those opportunities is, you're going to be them one day. One day you're going to be those women that played 40, 50 years ago, and, that's going to be you. And so, a couple takeaways. One, this is a short window in your life, so don't waste it. And then the other thing is being grateful for those women that came before you that created the opportunity for you to do this special thing. And so, I just think it's so important that we respect the history, the past, the people that have come before and paved the way, but also we understand the magnitude of the moment and how valuable this portion of your life is as a young person. And I think you can only really do that by getting to interact with people that have done it, that have walked in your shoes, and can really, as coaches, you tell your players, hey, guys, this goes that fast, right? Every coach that, guys, this goes this quick, and, embrace the moment, give it your all, because you don't get to do it for long. And then on senior night, every one of them ball their eyes out, and, you tell them that, and you try to get them to understand that. But I think to really put those people in their presence, and them to go from players they played with, right, whether it's an A.K. Griggs or a Katie Floyd who just recently graduated, or dial it all the way back to an Andy Jones who played in 1975. I think it's huge for our players to see that span, because it just shows them all the phases that those people are in, whether you just graduated, you're in your 30s or 40s and you have kids, or you're in your 70s or 80s and you finished a long time ago and you have grandkids, right? And so, just really appreciative of the support of those alums and taking the time to come support this program and be a part of something special.
From players of the past to your current team, let's start with Kinsley McGowan. Third in the league she leads the league in assists. She's third in the nation in total assists. And I know she's taken a huge step forward from freshman to sophomore campaign, but how strong was she last week? Yeah, she really played well. I mean, I thought Tuesday and Friday were two of the best matches that she's ever played here, and I think she just continues to grow in her understanding of the game, understanding of what her role is going to need to be for us to be successful at a high level. I've always told her she has the it. She's one of those kids, coaches talk about the it, right? She has the it. It's just helping her understand how to tap into it more often, right? And sometimes when you have that it, you can rely on the ability to just go grab it whenever you want and whenever you need. And at this level, you don't have that luxury, right? If you want to go play at the highest level, you've got to take the it with you everywhere you go and every single day. And so that's the thing that we're really trying to help her understand, and she's doing a great job of trying to incorporate that. And so just really, really proud of her growth, more so as an individual than as a player. But I think it's really helped us, as we've catapulted through this last 10-day stretch of playing the highest level we've played all season. And we spoke to her after the Friday win over Western Carolina, and I just said, what's it like working with all these hitters right now? And she said, I feel like every time I pass them the ball, they're going to get the kill. A lot of confidence there. And then you look, Kendall Barnes, third in the league in kills. Reese Ricketts has been slowed by an injury, right? But she had her moments this week where she looks back. She took over a lot against Sanford and Western Carolina. You throw in Nicole Sargent, Dylan Gardner. It feels like she's got a great supporting cast. Yeah, and I mean, that's, then you throw in Jenna Colasta, who was freshman of the week 2 weeks ago. Yep. So, I mean, I think this year's team, that's one of the things that we really focused on a lot in the offseason, was becoming more balanced, right? Last year, a lot of it was the Jasmine and Reese show, right? I mean, we just would give them the ball, and it was just a very predictable thing for teams to
try to slow down. And so for us in the spring, it was a lot of, all right, we have to start growing our offense to where we have more options. And, bringing in Kendall in the spring was a huge asset. But then also growing the game of Nicole Sargent, growing the game of Dylan, growing the game of, Kinsley, and then adding a player like a Jenna Colasta, who I felt right away was going to be able to come in and make a big impact. I think those are things that we really honed in on to be a better, well-rounded team this year. And I think it's something that, again, as we continue to grow through the season, it's something that's continued to get better and better. So just really, proud of the group. I mean, I said this to them yesterday, but I really have enjoyed this group. I mean, it's been a preseason and to this point some bumps in the road, but every time we've asked them to do something, they've approached it with a winner's attitude and with the mindset to get it done. And as a coach, what else can you ask for, right? And so I think that just helps me have even more faith that we're going to get a lot of special things done this season, because every milestone and every obstacle that we've presented to them, they've approached, with the right mentality and not with a selfish mentality or a woe is me mentality, but very much a, hey, we're going to get this done as a group because it needs to get done. And so that just gives me a ton of hope for the future.
And it continues this weekend. One final tune-up before league play begins next week. And it's a tough one. You go to Houston for the Cougar Challenge. You've got McNeese State on Friday. You'll also see Houston, who's a great program, and Liberty, who we're familiar with from their time in the Atlantic Sun. But it feels like this is a great final stop before league play begins.
Yeah, and that was kind of the hope, right, was as we went through the preseason, it kind of ramps up a little bit to where this last weekend is a very competitive weekend, right, and should prepare us for going into next week with Austin Peay and Lipscomb coming here for our first weekend of league play. So, as we start with this week, I think right now Houston and Liberty are both projected top 50 RPI teams right now. So, two very, very talented teams. A McNeese team that beat Tulane earlier this year that has had some really impressive wins so far this preseason. So, it'll be a challenge for us, but one that I think we're prepared for, and one that I think if we can continue to do the things we've been doing every day, preparing, competing, and just really pushing ourselves to be the best versions of ourselves every day, then when we get there, that's the goal, right? The goal isn't necessarily to control the outcome, because we can't. All we can control is how we prepare and how we present ourselves. And so if we can do that at the highest level, then I like where we're at.
It's going to be a fun weekend. League play will start next week. We'll catch up with Coach Johnson and get a preview then. Best of luck this weekend, and thanks for breaking it down with us.
Thanks, Ben. Roar Lions.
Thanks to Chris Walker for stopping by. Thanks to Tristan Johnson, and thank you all for tuning in on this early Wednesday morning. Be sure and visit RoarLions.com for more information on UNA soccer and volleyball. Roar Lions!